And it's Nathan Tanega. I'm in the 6th grade and I go to Our Lady of Fatima Catholic School in the Stanislaus County. Antony Antavious takes on Artichokes. There once was a charming little family of ants called the Antaviouses. There was Papa Ant named Antony, Mama Ant named Antoinette, oldest son named Antonio, and youngest daughter named Antero. They lived happily on their little ant farm in Antioch, California, growing their almond trees and harvesting the nuts. The family was content and enjoyed eating the almonds that they produced. They would enjoy almond waffles for breakfast, almond butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch, and almond crusted steak for dinner, with, of course, almond cake for dessert. They lived happily this way for many years until one summer they started to notice that the abundance of almonds was starting to decline and there was now a shortage. The drought had taken its toll in California and the trees they farmed no longer had enough water. This caused the almond trees to no longer produce enough almonds for their family. Antoinette was saddened because she could no longer give Antonio and Antero almond milk for breakfast or have their almond meals. "What are we going to do?" she cried to Antony. "The children need their milk and food. Do not fear, my dear, I shall find a solution." Antony told his wife, so Antony set out to find a solution to their problem. He researched all day and night. At last, he came across a clever idea. He came across a plant that did not need water to grow. He discovered Jerusalem artichokes, a vegetable that could grow with very little water. Antony then talked to his cousin Antoine, who was a gardener in Santa Cruz, and confirmed with him that these vegetables grew well in most climate zones in California. And even better was that the artichokes could be planted in containers so they wouldn't affect the almond trees. Antony and Antoinette learned from Antoine where to buy the tubers and started to plant them in the potting plants on their farm. In just a few months, the artichokes were growing and they were able to gather loads of this new vegetable with very little watering needed. Antoinette began cooking her family new meals with the artichokes. They enjoyed artichoke omelets for breakfast, sauteed artichokes for lunch, and artichoke soup for dinner, with, of course, artichoke ice cream for dessert. The family was once again humming with happiness at their good fortune. Though the artichokes were a great substitute, Antony and his family still missed their almond meals. What can we do? They thought. After some reflection, they decided that a prayer for rain and a little rain dance never hurt anyone. So that is what they did. Every day and every night they would say a rain prayer and did a little rain dance. They did this for weeks and was almost ready to give up. However, one evening after finishing their artichoke salad dinner, they were playing their board game Smarty Pants when they started to hear the pitter-patter of raindrops on their roof. They all scuttled outside and to their delight saw rain coming down. The rain continued coming down in the coming weeks, and in no time, the almond trees started to blossom once more. They were once again able to harvest their orchard of almond trees. When Thanksgiving came, Antony and his family were even more grateful than usual. They looked at the feast on their table and gave thanks for the blessings they were given. They said a prayer of gratitude before their meal of almond-crusted turkey, mashed potatoes and almonds, and yams with almond sauce, with, of course, artichoke pie for dessert. All was well once again in the Antavious ant family, and the almonds and artichokes were harvested abundantly for many years to come.
I've been doing this contest for almost 15 years. And the one thing that caught my attention about it is the creative writing opportunity. As an English language arts teacher, that's something I like to foster. And the fact that we're in the Central Valley puts us dead center in agriculture. So it's something they're familiar with, and they always say, write what you know. So I thought it was a great combination to get them started and then give them, as students, the opportunity to learn more about not just local agriculture, but throughout the state agriculture.
Well, I did research on California agriculture and the crops that grow here, and I knew California was in a drought, so I looked up drought-resistant crops, and I came across Jerusalem artichokes.
I think in today's world, which is much more global than when I was their age, they need to understand where things come from. If they don't know where things come from, food in particular, but other things that they're familiar with as well, it's going to make it much more difficult for them to relate to the world after they're done with whatever studies they're doing.
I was kind of shocked a little bit. I was shocked when I knew that I was like county winner, and then I was really excited when I knew that I won the state for the state, and kind of just celebrated a little bit. Kind of jumping around all over the place and kind of having a party and like